there, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, depending with where you are watching us from. This is Couples with Show, and this is where we write down our love when we are alive, for we don't want our love story to be read when we are gone. Neither we want our love story to be read when we are 6 feet under. Yes, and that is why every Friday, East African time, 9:45, we gather here and we come to tackle issues concerning our relationships and our marriages. And my name is Willie Kinyash, and out here they call me the Undisputed. I'm a Dr. Love, and we are glad that you have joined us this beautiful day. Yes, and we are coming to you live from Maxland Hotel. Yes, Maxland Hotel. They have such a nice facility, and they are located in Juja City Mall. So if you are around Thika Road, you can visit Maxland Hotel and you will enjoy. Yes, and tonight we're having quite an amazing discussion, because we have tackled a lot concerning our marriages and our relationships, but I want us to drift a bit, and I want us to look at how we can empower our youths. How can we empower our youths and young adults? And I am hosting a lovely lady by name Serah Munyiri. She is coming to us from New Jersey in US of A. Yes, I always tell you that this show, we are international, and so we are going to have an amazing time with Serah. Hi, Serah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well.
You're looking beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Karibu Kenya.
Asante sana.
As we all say, Kenya hakuna matata.
Hapa hakuna matata.
Kabisa. And yes, and we are glad to have you on Couples with Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
So who is Serah Munyiri?
All right. My name's Serah Munyiri, and I am a mother of 4. I am married and I live in New Jersey. I've been in New Jersey or in the USA for the last 23 years, and I am a frequent visitor here at home. When I'm coming to Kenya, I always brag and I say, I am going home. And so it's a privilege to be here, and such an honor to be hosted today in this show. In the US, I went to the US for further studies, and I went to college and I did my undergrad and my graduate studies in the USA. Now I worked for a natural gas company for a number of years. I still work with natural gas company, but currently I started my own business, and the business is called Jabolis. The Jabolis is a business that is registered in the state of New Jersey, and we operate in the USA. The business is also owned by 3 wonderful ladies, me being one, and I have 2 partners. And we do marketing and consulting work, working with businesses, government agencies, both here in Kenya and also the government agencies in the USA. Our work mostly is to advertise businesses, connect businesses with Kenyans in the diaspora, and make sure that we are bringing the companies that are legitimate and the companies that we have done some due diligence to make sure that our people in diaspora, they are not being ripped off. Having lived there, we have seen a lot of that. And so we are very careful to make sure that we do our homework before we introduce businesses to the Kenyans living in the diaspora. We have a new business directory where one can register for free. You can register your business there so that Kenyans can know your business, they can know what you do. They can also get your contact and they can get in touch with you directly. So that's pretty much what I do to make money. I do a lot of work to help and to give back to the society that has fed me and has given me a lot. And one of the major things that I do is to support and empower the young adults and the youth who are born by Africans in the USA. Through an organization that I started, the organization is called EPAD, Empowering People of African Descent. And through that organization, we bring the kids together to empower them, to support them through their high school, or what we call here secondary education. We start with the kids from the middle school. We work with them, and by the high school level, we pair them with mentors and to be able to support them through the college process. Now, the college process, and maybe we can talk a little bit about it later, it's very tedious. As immigrants, sometimes we really don't fully understand what kids need to do to be able to get into good schools. We don't know, sometimes we lack the information on what they can do to be able to get scholarships. And so we come into filling that gap, getting professionals from colleges in the US, from high school, counselors, so that we can support our children. When the kids transition to college, we support them for them to get their first jobs, their first internship, and still through EPAD, which is a non-profit organization. We work very closely with parents, with also the professionals from different organizations, from different businesses, so that we can be able to serve and help our children. And we are very, very grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Wow.
Also on the side, I'm a community organizer in New Jersey where I live. I have started several groups where we have women of New Jersey in one group. We have more than 400 women that we work together, we support each other, we support any ministry, including the government, when, especially very recent when we had to do the registration to vote. We use those organizations, some of which that have started, to be able to reach many Kenyans who live in the diaspora and other African people who also live there, and maybe they can benefit from some of the services that we are able to offer.
Wow.
So in a snapshot, that's Serah.
What an introduction. And now, at least you have an idea who Serah Munyiri is. And remember, the show is proudly sponsored by Bahai Investment Limited. These are sellers of land and properties, and they have plots in different areas in Juja Farm, Athi, Ruiru Murera, Nanyuki, Rumuruti, Makuyu, Mananja, and Kamkuto Road. You can visit Bahai Investments at their offices in Juja Town at Juja Professional Center, or you can call that number that is running down on your screen. You can call that number and you will be sorted out. So I am having Serah Munyiri, and this is Couples Week, and I know there are many people who are having questions. Did you say that in Kenya they will call you yellow? Did you say that she's married?
Yes, I am married to one husband.
Yes.
My husband's name is Munyiri, and together we have 4 children. Our oldest is just about to turn 21 years, and our youngest, the only princess in the house, she's 7 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
How did you meet your king?
Ooh, that is, it's definitely a beautiful story. And it always gives me a joy when I share it. But I migrated at a younger age, and my husband also migrated to the US at a very young age. We were both at 20.
Yeah.
But when I met my husband, he had traveled to Kenya and then decided to stop over in New York City to visit with friends. And his friends happened to be my friends. And at that time, I had moved to a 1-bedroom house and I had done the best to decorate it. It was looking nice.
Yeah.
And so it was a very good day in New York City. And so they decided to stop by to one of their friends' house, who happened to be me, for a cup of coffee. And I was going to work that night, but anyway, I invited them and I welcomed them, and I decided to make dinner for them. It was my husband, another new guy.
But by then, he's a
He
stranger.
was a stranger. So among the 7 guys and a couple of girls that came in, 2 people I didn't know them. One ended up having to be, my husband.
Yes.
But the other one is also a very good friend now. And so when they walked in, I gave them a hug. I love hugging. So, they're walking in and I'm giving them a hug. And immediately my husband said, wow, that lady gave me a hug and this house looks nice and she's very welcoming. But I didn't know what he was thinking. So I just continued and I was happy to see my friends and to get to know new people. And we stayed. At the end of the day, at night, I wanted to go to work. It was a 31st, which is very odd for someone to be working. But I was supporting one of my friends who had taken a day off and requested if I could cover her shift. So around 10 at night, I told my guests, hey, I'll be leaving around 11 to go to work. And, so you guys just know that, when I leave, I'm going to work. I'm not running
So you wanted to leave them your house?
I didn't know what they wanted, but it was normal for them to stay in my house when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Because we were cross bodies. And they had eaten, but there was still more to eat. It was New Year's Eve. So they decided that they're going to stay there. And then my husband now, he was like, no, let's leave. She's leaving. I think we should leave. And my buddies, my friends, they say, no, we're just going to stay here and stay here
we're home.
We are home. And so at maybe 10:30, I said, okay, I'm just getting ready to leave. And it was very nice meeting you. So my husband gave me his business card. And the other guy also, he didn't have a business card, but he gave me his phone number. So I shared my phone number also. And I left for work. When I looked at the business card, I realized, this guy is an engineer. I was like, oh, okay, I'll see whether maybe I'll call him. And then when he come again to visit, because Seattle, where he was living, and New Jersey, it's a 6-hour flight. So it's not somewhere that you become very often. But, nevertheless, he was a Kenyan, and we got to connect. So what followed after that?
Tell me.
It's a phone call every minute. So after the new year, I must have been the first person he called. And 2 months after, he took another long flight to come to New Jersey, now not to see his friends.
To see you. Hey, love.
Oh, I tell you, when he came down the second time to see me, I was very happy, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
I was imagining, this guy
Took a flight just to come and see
6-hour
me.
flight to come
Oh
just see
no.
me. So I decided, okay, I'm going to show him that I know places. I took him to Poconos. I don't know whether you've ever heard of Poconos.
I've had, though I've never been there,
Yeah,
but I'm coming.
When you come, I'll take you to Poconos.
Yes.
So we went to Poconos. Poconos, you see bears outside walking. There's snow. So we went to a skiing mountain. And then we went to a nice hotel there. It was me and a couple of friends. So we had dinner there, we hanged out, and we saw big falls during winter. So some of the water, it's partially frozen. So he was excited about the New Jersey, PA area. And then the second night we went to New York City. We had dinner there, hanged out. I guess he fell in love with me and the New York area. So he decided, I have to start organizing myself to move east. Seattle is in West west of west of the US.
See what love does.
He moved east. Yes. He decided that he wanted to do his master's degree. So he decided that he would apply for a college to come. It's a college called Mount Clare University, to come and do his master's degree there, which was not far from where I live. And so when he moved, that was, it continued. We are talking about him moving in about a year. But between when we met and 1 year, I went to Seattle to see him. He came again to New Jersey a couple of times. And then when he was migrating, we met in Las Vegas. So I went to meet him in Las Vegas. It's like halfway. And we met there, stayed in Las Vegas for a couple of days, and then we flew together.
Sorry, let me interject. At all this time, has he said that I want us to have something?
Yes, he had already expressed that he is interested in having a relationship. And now, at that time, we are now a couple that is dating.
Okay.
So and we were very serious. So when we met in Las Vegas, he proposed and gave me a ring.
Wow.
Yes. He gave me a ring and I said yes. And I guess his family were very surprised. They could not imagine him getting.
Why?
Because they didn't, his brothers, of course, he had brothers in West Coast. And so they did not think of him moving back east. East is, it's very mixed. It's very, east coast is old, because that's where the first migrant, they settled there mostly. So east is very old. West coast is new. And I guess they did not even imagine, Mike now moving to New Jersey, one of the oldest states, but they were very, very happy for him.
Wow.
So when he moved back east, of course, now he proposed and I said yes. And then we moved to New Jersey, and at some point we started living together.
Wow.
And our parents now started meeting up and, going to visit the family and working out. So that was in 2001. It was in 2002 when we moved to New Jersey. And then the same year, his parents went to visit my parents to now say, okay, my son is interested with your daughter. And the same year, my father died after they had visited.
Sorry.
Yes. Then in 2003, my father-in-law, my parents-in-law, came to the US to visit us. So they came and we flew to Oregon to a graduation of one of my brother-in-laws. And when they went back, unfortunately, my mother-in-law had a car accident and died.
In the US?
No, in Kenya, when she came back home. So I am always very grateful to God because He expedited everything for us, and my parents got to meet before they both died. They died within 9 months of meeting of each other. Yeah.
So how has been the journey?
Oh, the journey has been wonderful. In 2002, after we met in 2001, in 2002, we got our first child. So our son was born, and now we are now a family unit, young, but nevertheless trying to do the best we can. So every 5 years after that, we had a child.
Every other?
Every 5.
Hey!
So our second, so our second one was born in 2007. Our third born was born in 2012. And
2017.
I realized that I didn't have 5 years after 2012. So 2015, we had our daughter.
Wow.
And I realized it was a good idea because our first, second, and third, they are boys. But when I shifted from 5 to 3, we got a girl.
Oh.
So we have 3 boys and 1 girl. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful.
So we had, of course, when we started staying together, we didn't do a wedding. Like I said, my father died, and then soon after my mother died. So there was a lot of adjustment. And we had a small child. There was a lot of adjustment. And so we were not able to do a wedding as early as we wanted to. But in 2010, we did a wedding in the US. My mother came and my father-in-law. And of course, we had so many guests. We had more than 500 people attend. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. And we thank God for the journey. It has not been a better process. Many are the time that that we have found that it's very difficult in our marriage, but we have always trusted in God. We have always gone to church. We have always had pastors. I was born Anglican, or rather, I was raised an Anglican Christian. But when we got married, or rather, when we started living together, my husband is a Catholic, so I shifted my denomination to Catholic. Okay. And that's where we have raised our kids. They have gone through the process of baptism, confirmation, first Holy Communion and all that, except the younger ones. The 2 younger ones, they are baptized. The second from last, he had his Holy Communion, and now they are still going through the Christian studies. So that they can get into other levels in their Christian journey.
You've mentioned something to do with challenges, and maybe there's someone who is watching us from Kenya. We have a huge following from Africa, so Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and they are wondering, what are you talking about? A couple living in US, they are facing challenges. What are some of these challenges you guys are facing in your marriage?
Well, marriage in Kenya, it's as good as marriage in the US. Because some of the same challenges that people face here are the same challenges that you face. And some of them, include, communication. It includes dealing with money. It includes raising family, raising kids. It includes the challenges of a home, taking care of your home. It includes in-laws. It includes the faith, the church.
Yeah.
So there's so many challenges that, similarly to what people face here, we also face in the diaspora. But how you mitigate those challenges in marriage? I think I always tell young couples, one of the first things that you need to do in your marriage is to learn to trust each other. Because if you trust each other, you will be able to solve a lot of problems. You trust each other and you accept each other. You accept yourself the way you are and accept your partner. And most of the problems, I see that they come from maybe insecurities. It comes from you're not trusting your partners. It comes from, like I said, the money. And there's also a big element of, what you brought into the marriage. How are you raised? How do you deal with your own insecurities? What are your beliefs that your partner should be? And once you understand that, you are able now to deal with the problems that are inevitable. Because no matter what, couples issues will always be there.
Yeah.
How you deal with them, it's the question. And I'm glad that you're one of the well-known couple counselors or coach, and I know that you can be able to help couples be able to overcome some of these challenges. And I think the bottom line, if people are interested in living together, you should always seek help, because there's nobody who know how to deal with the marriage.
Yeah.
You are new in it. Every day is a new day in your marriage. So if you feel that there's areas of concern, you should always seek help from a professional who can be able to support you in that.
Yeah. Is there maybe a particular challenge you'd love to share with us that you've gone through, you yourself, in your marriage? Maybe there's someone who could be going through the same challenge right now, and maybe if they hear someone who have gone through such a challenge and overcame, they can be encouraged. Is there a particular challenge you as Serah and Mike you've gone through, and then let us know how did you overcome that challenge?
Well, life is very different in the US than here, but I know there are some people who may be watching me from the US. I would say some of the challenges that we've gone through, it's how to invest and how to deal with money. Because I'm a professional and my husband is a professional. We are in business, so we do make enough money to be able to meet our expenses. But how do we invest that money? What are things that we want to do with the money that we have excess? I shouldn't say excess, but the money that we should be saving. And I realized that the best way is to sit down with my husband and discuss what to do so that we can both do together. So the challenge was, we have, each one of us is getting paid whatever money. How do we combine our income and be able to do things together? We took a class, and now I'm forgetting the class about money. I'm forgetting the name of the class that we took. But I can't forget the content. The content was, sit down and look at all your expenses, and then cater for the expenses. The balance, once you combine your income, the balance, you take a portion for yourself and your people. Because biggest challenge for us is we do educate kids here. We are helping young adult or youth here. We are helping our families. I'm building for my mother. You are doing this or this or this. So you sit down, and then the extra money, you take a percentage of what you want to do for things that are unaccounted for. My hair, my nails, my whatever, my spa. If I want to do that, I want to go have a drink or dinner with my girlfriend. That is the extra, the percentage that you get. Then the balance, decide how much do you want to donate. Where do you want to donate it? How much is your time? And then whatever you are left with, now figure out how do we invest it. But sitting down and agreeing on some of these things, even before you have the money, is the best way to do it. Then, because when the money comes, already the percentage goes to the pockets that you have already looked through. Yeah. So.
Wow. And I think that's very nice. You have put it very well. And I know right here, there's a whole show I did talking about money, and I was asking a question: is your money married? So is your money married?
Our money is married.
Hallelujah. And that is the thing I've been talking about. If you're married, if you're one, the Bible says that two shall become one. So if you can trust her with your body, if you can trust him with your body, what is money? So your money should as well be married. And I know soon I'll be bringing a man I love by name Oscar Musolji to come and talk to us more about that. Is your money married? And so for Serah and the husband, their money is married. Is your money married? Before we wind up, I know that in US, the rate of divorce has been very, very high. What is causing divorce rate to be very high in US?
And I read an article that the divorce are also very high at the age of 60. at 60 years, you are retired. Yet, people are going through divorce at that age. And you can't help to ask why. And I like that question because people are living longer than before. A lot of people, even at the age of 80, they are still active and they have, especially in the US, at 80, people are still, some of them are still working. And so when you divorce at the age of 60, you're thinking you have 20 years to live. So some people are arguing, it's okay for me to divorce if I'm not happy in the marriage. But I truly believe that if you have a good marriage at the younger years, there's no way you'll get to 60 and then divorce. It's just, I look at marriage just like the way I look at childhood. Today, I spoke to a friend of mine. I went to high school with. That is 30 years ago. And I cannot wait to meet this friend. I have not even seen her for the last maybe 20 years. Maybe I've seen her once, when I come back. But I'm looking forward because of the relationship we had as friends. And I want to see her so bad. And not her, even some other people that I went to high school with or private school with. When I meet them, I sit down and we can talk for hours and hours. And I have not seen them for hours, for many years.
Yeah.
I feel it's the same with marriage. If you cement your relationship at the early years when you are young, when you are facing challenges, raising kids, and you are both healthy, there's no reason that you will find that it is important for you to divorce at the later years. So invest in your marriage today, and you have no problem in the future. I lived in the US, like I said, for many years. I've raised 4 kids. For 12 years of my life in the US, I have had a nanny. Women coming from Kenya to stay in my house to help me raise my kids. Some of those women are married and they leave their husbands here and they come to the US to their daughters and sons. They may not divorce, but tell me, if you have moved to the US and you have lived there, you have left your husband in Gishagi, and now you are in the US making this money, and you are there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and you don't go home, what is that? You may not call it divorce, but what is that?
It is a divorce. It's only that you have not signed somewhere that have
Exactly.
divorced you. Yes.
But there are some people, there are some women who will come and stay for 2 months and they cannot wait to come back. Oh, I left my husband, so mimi, sitaki hii pesa, sitaki kukaa. I want to go back and take care of my husband because their relationship was tight. I'm not saying it's 100% the case, but I know that if you had a good relationship, if you have a good relationship when you are young, even when you get older, even when your kids become presidents, they become what you will not want to go stay with them and leave your husband. So it's a matter of working in your relationship today and solving problems, not by yourself. If you cannot solve them by yourself, seek the elders, seek the counselors, the coaches, so that you can maintain a good relationship. And you don't have to fear about divorce.
Wow, thank you so much. And what I'm getting from you is that we need to work on our relationships at that early age. When we are dating in our first years in marriage, we need to work on our marriages and our friendship. Actually, it is friendship. So that we can be able to stay longer together. Wow.
Exactly. The thing is, when you're raising kids, of course there's a lot of challenges, and most of the time, women may tend to really care so much about the kids and forget the husband. But it's an area that if you realize that that is what happened, that you can seek a counselor so that your wife, can be guided correctly. However, I know that when kids grow older with that kind of environment, even when they are older, they tend to favor their mother. And you as a husband, you will lose. Because if this marriage is not balanced, the kids will possibly invite, or the mother will just be interested in going to stay with the kids when they become successful. And the kids will not have any problem with it, because even growing up, that's what they're accustomed to. So you somehow cannot really blame the kids, because they know that the mother suffered so much taking care of us, and now she wants to come and stay with, I want to stay with my mother. I've always been close to my mother.
Yeah.
That's the argument. But then who ended up losing? The husband. So it is very important for the husband, knowing that they are the head of household, to also take the lead to make sure that their marriage is stable.
So could it be possible that they will suffer because they lost their position?
Yes.
They were to show leadership, but they failed.
Exactly. And the husband everywhere, in the US, here, in Canada, wherever, you still have the upper hand. As a man of the house, you still carry the blessing. And women know that. So if you take your possession, you will be respected as so. And mostly, the husband are the only one who can be able to collect a home that is going astray.
Wow.
Women can try, and in some cases they win, but if the husband is so stuck up, there's nothing that will be done. The women will continue raising kids and helping them, and they will be friends. And you, when you need these kids, when you need your wife, there will be nowhere to be seen. Huwezi ukakuwa unanipiga nikiwa mchanga, atungojee nikiwa mzee nikuje take care of you. I will not. Most of the time, that's what is happening. Even here in Kenya, there's a lot of women who are migrating from Munyiri to Nairobi when I share mzee ng'ombe. Yes, and taking, there's a difference between taking the leadership and becoming a dictator. The dictatorship will only work temporarily, because at some point, that dictatorship will be overthrown by your kids who you have taken through college. They have money, they will not even listen to you. So it's not about dictatorship. That worked during our years. It doesn't work now with our generation. It is a matter of looking for, for leadership and common ground. Understanding each other. Showing love and concern. And giving people leeway to live their life. We are here temporarily, all of us. So if you're so strict that it has to be my way, it will work temporarily.
Wow. Hey, Serah, I'm told that our time is up, imagine.
Yes.
And so I want you to give your parting shot.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you so much for having me today.
Yes.
I've really truly enjoyed myself.
Yes.
And I hope that anything that I shared, I'm not a counselor, I'm not an expert in any way. I was just sharing my life. And so if you find anything that you may be able to apply in your marriage or in your life, I am so grateful for it. I also want to invite all of you to our expo. We have an expo that we have coming up. The expo will be in May 28th, May 26th to 28th in New Jersey area. That will be Memorial Day weekend, and we are inviting companies that would like to come and become vendors. And yours truly will be there.
Yes, couples will
be there, and we'll be hosting it in New Jersey. And so I will be sharing my phone number with Couples Wheel so that they can display it there. You can get in touch with me and we'll be able to work with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
I am so delighted
to
meet you with your great team.
Yes.
And I look forward to coming back.
Oh, karibu sana.
Thank
we are happy that you came. I know you had so many schedules.
Yes.
But you said I must come to Couples Wheel Show. How can people connect with you through socials? Facebook, Insta? Are you?
Oh, sure. Yes, I am.
How can people connect with you?
My phone number is 0745 746 584. 0745 746 584.
Wow, thank you so much for coming, and we are looking forward to having you again as you come back to our motherland, Kenya.
Sure.
So as you go back to New Jersey, carry our love. Say hi to Mike and the boys and the girl.
Yes.
And we are looking forward to meeting them as we come over there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and that marks to the end of our tonight show. I was hosting Serah Munyiri. She's coming to us from New Jersey, US of A. And we have learned a lot from her. Maybe you've been saying that people in America, they don't face challenges in their marriage. You have heard from her that there are so many challenges out there they are also facing. But how you tackle those challenges when they arise, it is what matters. So thank you so much. My name is Willie Kinyash or Dr. Love, and out there they call me the Undisputed. And this is Couples Will Show. And this is where we write down our love when we are alive, for we don't want our love to be read when we are 6 feet under. Remember, the show is proudly sponsored by Bahai Investments Limited. They deal with sale of land and properties, and they have plots in Chuja Farm, Adhi, Ruiru Murera, Nanyuki, Kangudo Road, Makuyu, Mananja, and Rumuruti. You can call Bahai. There's a number running down there on your screen. You can call that number if you have any question. There's something you want to know about what they do. You can call that number and you will be sorted out. And we are grateful to the Maxland Hotel. Yes, because we are coming live from Maxland Hotel in Juja. It is located in Juja City Mall, Thika Road. If you are around Thika Road, this is a place to be. You can visit anytime. They have such a nice facility. Swimming pool, their rooms are beautiful, their food. If you're around here, karibu to Maxland Hotel. For now, kwaheri ya kuonana. See you on Friday. Bye-bye.